Hey everybody, this is Lewis from Ledoux's Wines. Welcome to another Pairings for the Real World, where we take food that you actually like to eat and pair them with absolutely fantastic wines that we would love to sell you. Today at Ledoux's, we were, hanging around enjoying an absolutely fabulous bottle of Saint-Préfert Côte d'Aron, because that's what you get to do when you work in a kick-ass wine store. And we thought to ourselves, this would go amazing with some barbecue. It's got some sort of sweet elements coming through the Grenache and the slightly the innovative way in which is making a lot of these wines. Isabel Ferrando is one of the most talented winemakers, period.
Thank you so much, Isabel, for coming today.
And this is a really fantastic wine that she makes, sort of an entry level, 20 bucks on the shelf. She uses a lot of the same techniques that she makes to use her Shoutout, and it's simply fantastic. Floral, but hint of spice and pepperiness. I think it's really going to go super well with, again, sort of the sweet and spicy aspect of this barbecue, which I'm about to eat, which is some burnt ends from the Greenwich staple, Mighty Quinn's. Couldn't be more excited about it. And yeah, let's dig in.
Oh, come on now. Come on within. You'll not see nothing.
Yeah. So just like I thought, there's this, the wine itself is dry and savory, but right on the nose, there's this sort of hint of sweetness that's so complementary to the, again, sweet and spicy saltiness of the barbecue sauce. The wine also has a lot of oomph to it, despite this extremely pretty profile. It's got a lot of structure, really nice tannins, balance of great acidity to go with the pickles, and enough to really stand up to the power of the barbecue, which is powerful and delicious. And something that Isabel Ferrando does in her wines, but I think makes this pair especially well, is that she uses a lot of whole cluster and vinification. And you don't really need to go super technical on this to understand what this means, but basically it simultaneously adds a little bit of freshness to the wine because the stems, when you include them in the fermentation, actually absorb a little bit of the alcohol, which is important when you're dealing with a wine that has a lot of Grenache in it, because Grenache produces a lot of alcohol. But it also adds this sort of sweet and spicy kind of element to the wine because the stems themselves sort of give this earthy character. So yes, Shoutout, Grenache in general, a lot of Spanish Grenaches go super well with what I'm doing. But if you're gonna do a barbecue that's got a little bit more sweetness to it, I really recommend finding something and going to your favorite wine store, asking one of presumably the very well qualified employees there to find you something that's been done with a little bit of whole cluster. It's just gonna put the pairing right over the top. Yeah, if there's any foods that you would love to see the staff at Ledoux's Wines and myself pair a wine with, please comment below. Shout out to Mighty Quinn Barbecue for providing me with some fantastic burnt ends, and the always fabulous Isabel Ferrando for making kick-ass wine. I love that job. No foie gras, no deconstructed escargot foam, no Russian sturgeon caviar. I think that's where the sturgeon caviar comes from. I wouldn't know, too busy eating barbecue.
So you're from Missouri, St. Louis. Do you think Kansas City does the best barbecue? Do you have a strong opinion?
Despite the fact from being from Missouri, I actually really cannot go against the very concept of whole hog barbecue that you get in the Southeast. That is, I think, barbecue in its purest form. There's nothing better than taking an entire animal and sticking it in a pit and just kind of sitting around in your slightly gross but appreciable masculinity and waiting for the meat to just fall apart. Yeah, I think there's something sort of spiritually important about that as an institution. And so while Kansas City barbecue is absolutely delicious and St. Louis style ribs are pretty yummy, I think that if there's one sort of meal that should define barbecue and help define American cuisine as we know it, it is the sort of Carolina whole hog. That's my opinion, personally. No exploded yellow souffle, vanilla bean, meringue, $50 on the menu. No bull testicles, although I hear those are delicious.
I'd love to see a wine that says on the back, pair with bull testicles.
We're getting there.